Hello guys, GZTV, and I'm back with another YouTube video. What is up? I'm back on the grind after hanging out with the boys for a couple of days. We had graduation Friday night. Today I had Gus Macker to go to, which is a street ball 3v3 tournament, and I'm a little sunburnt from that, by the way. But we are here. I watched a little bit of basketball, looked at the scoreboard when I could during the day. I sat in the sun all day and watched some great street ball. It's a very entertaining event that happens in my city, and it's the last one that we're going to have in my city, so I had to pop out, you know what I'm saying, and support the boys and support all the people I know. So yeah, that's besides the point. We're going to be talking about the NBA action from the last two games. In 2 days in the playoffs, we got 7 games, which in my honest opinion is a W. So we're going to check it out starting with Friday. Starting with my Celtics beating the Nets. We are not getting swept. We are not the Bubble Guppies. We will get to those people later. We are not the Bubble Guppies. We are the Boston Celtics. We bleed green, and we are not getting swept. Tatum is not done yet. He might have to put up 50 every single freaking game if we want to win this series. But man, oh man, he's not done yet. At least we can go out with some pride, man. Playoff career high for going for 50 there. If you look at the box score, Kevin Durant had 39 points and Harden had 41 and 10. So a lot of Nets fans are trying to say, "Oh, the Celtics were given this win." No, not when two players on a team score nearly 40 apiece, and Harden had 10 assists to go with that. Tatum putting up 50. I feel like that's technically his second playoff 50-point game. Because I think I don't know, should they start counting play-ins as playoffs? I'm not really sure yet. But Tatum had a nice little 50-piece. That's his 4th total on the year. Shout out to my boy, my favorite player in the league, Tristan Thompson, in 19 and 13. Way to go, man. Tristan Thompson's filling in that big man spot with the minute restrictions for Robert Williams. Smart had 23. Good for Marcus, man. That's a big 23 points, man. Moving on to the Hawks and Knicks, Trae Young shines after the spitting incident in his first career home playoff game. He's all up in the Knicks fans' hair, and he's not going away anytime soon. So you guys might have to deal with the current league's biggest villain, man. He is going crazy. He's a menace. He's going off on the Knicks this series, and to be honest, Julius Randle is playing like garbage in the playoffs so far. He's definitely doing something, but it's not his usual most improved player type of play. He put up 14 and 11 on the night. D Rose, man, D Rose. He felt disrespected after getting snubbed for the 6th man of the year, so he went out and put up 30. And shout out to Jordan Clarkson. I think he deserved the award, but D Rose didn't think so. He put up 30. They still lost. But, yeah, good for D Rose. For the Hawks, Clint Capella doing big man things, 13 points, 12 rebounds. Trae Young, 21 and 14. The dude's a beast. Him and Luka are like from that same draft class, and they are like the best players in the playoffs right now. AD could possibly be up there. I don't know. Guys, after the finals, I might make a top 50 players of the playoffs. Does that sound good? Cool? I don't know. I'm not really sure. I thought it'd be a good idea. Moving on to Clippers Mavs. Clippers prevent a sweep even though they had a chance in Game 4 to do that. They're right back in the series. Luka puts up 44 points, but man, can we talk about his free throw shooting? It's down terrible. 12 points worth of missed free throws, I think. That's bad. But yeah, 44 points is still good. Kawhi putting up 36. Man, he is underrated. He is definitely a top 10 player in the playoffs right now. And PG-13 at 29. Pandemic P stepping up for one time. And that does it for our Friday action. Getting into the Saturday action. Bucks sweep the Heat. Bucks and Heat, a.k.a. the Bubble Guppies. I saw that on TikTok and I was like, you know what? I'm going to use that in this video title. Why do I keep looking back? I don't know. Whatever. The Bubble Guppies, man. The Bubble freaking Guppies is what we call them now. Jimmy Butler, the most disappointing player in recent playoff history besides Pandemic P, of course, last year. He's no longer Pandemic P. He is PG-13. Jimmy Butler, you guys can come up with a nickname for him. He had 12, 10, and 10, which is a pretty good stat line, but man, shooting percentage, one of the worst I've seen in recent NBA history and possibly in my lifetime. The dude shot 25% from the field this game. He shot like 10% from 3 in the series. Just an all-around terrible series. One he will soon forget, hopefully. Bam Adebayo putting up 20 and 14. Shout out to him. You know, he kind of got it turned around in the series, but they still lost all 4 games. So at the end of the day, that type of stuff doesn't matter. Looking at the Bucks, my boy Giannis putting up 20, 15, and 12. Definitely a top 5 player in the NBA. Maybe not in the playoffs wise, but definitely a top 5 NBA player overall. Middleton getting 20 and 11 for the squad. Lopez was the leading scorer with 25, I think. Yeah. Shout out to Lopez. Actually, real quick, let me check out his shooting percentages for today. What did he end up shooting from the field? 11 he didn't take any threes. He went 11 for 15 from the field. So 22 of those buckets were non-free throw. So shout out to Lopez. He was getting buckets today. Bryn Forbes, another 22-point game off the bench. Great stuff for that guy. Best role player in the playoffs for sure. Honorable mentions may be Jalen Brunson, D Rose when he's on the bench, stuff like that. But anyways, we're going to move on to the next game. We had Blazers and Nuggets. Blazers tied the series. Powell ties his playoff career high. Shout out to Norman Powell. He's been on kind of a decline lately, but this game was a comeback game, sort of. And he's slowly starting to put up big numbers and helping the Trailblazers win a game. This was a game they needed. It's now 2-2. This is going to grab your popcorns, ladies and gentlemen, because this is going to be an absolutely amazing series and one for the history books. Yeah, Powell had 29. Dame had a little 10 and 10. You know, he didn't score a crap ton like he usually does, but you know, he was passing the rock around. My boy 3J putting up 21. Nuggets did not play good. To be frank, to be honest, to be straightforward and blunt, they did not play good. There was really nobody that stood out to me on the box score. They just didn't play that good. I don't know. Jokic had probably one of his worst games of the year. And yeah. On that note, we're going to move on to the next game. We have Sixers-Wizards. Actually, I might be able to make this video kind of short for having 7 games to cover. Usually when I have like 7+ games to cover, it's like a 15-minute video, but I don't even think it'll take that this time. But anyways, that is besides the point. Sixers and Wizards. Embiid gets MVP chance. Wizards on the verge of elimination now. Do I think they'll get swept? Of course I do. They almost lost by 30 today. But I'd like for the Bubble Guppies to be the only team to be swept because I actually kind of like the Wizards. Russell Westbrook is having a very respectable season. Obviously, we know what Beal can do. A boy from the Lou, just like Tatum. Type of thing there. Wizards, Brody, 26, 10, and 12, another triple-double. He moved up on the list for career triple-doubles. I think he has, in the playoffs, by the way, he has 11. Beal had a nice little 25, but that definitely wasn't enough, I guess. For the Sixers, Tobias Harris, 20 and 13, and Embiid getting the MVP chance he deserves, but he's not getting MVP, so it's kind of awkward. 36 points for him. Moving on to Jazz and Grizzlies. This was a pretty interesting game. You know, the lead was kind of bouncing up and down towards down the stretch, but Donovan Mitchell, Jazz take the lead in the series. You know, Donovan Mitchell is just a burst of momentum for this squad. It's crazy how much momentum he gave this squad upon his return. They have been undefeated since Donovan Mitchell was returned, and although his return wasn't extremely successful the first time around, he came back went on a little run and took out the Grizzlies. Is this series over? Definitely not. We'll get to the state of each of the NBA teams towards the end of the video, but yeah. For the Grizzlies, Anderson and Valanciunas both got double-doubles. Anderson had 11 and 13, and Valanciunas had 10 and 13. Really good 4 and 5 combo there. One of the best in the playoffs, in my opinion. Brooks had 27. Another good offensive night for Dillon Brooks that resulted in a loss. I mean, Donovan Mitchell's back, so can you blame him? Not really. Ja Morant had a nice little 28-point game. He's put up 25-plus in like every game of this series and the play-in. So good for Ja Morant. He's still playing really good. It's just they've fallen short for the past few games. Looking at the Jazz, Gobert doing the big man things with 15 and 14, really underrated center. He's playing spectacular this year. I don't think they've announced Defensive Player of the Year. I don't know who's going to get that anyways. It might be Gobert. Who knows? Conley had a nice 27, and Mitchell had 29. Mitchell had a pretty good game tonight. He scored like 10 points in the fourth quarter, I think. He went crazy. But yeah, that was Friday and Saturday. Let's look at Sunday, man. I'm excited. We have 4 more games of playoff action, baby. It's looking like the Celtics are going to make it to June, man. We're playing the Nets on the 30th, and we still have 2 games minimum left in our season. Will Tatum score 50 again? He has to, but I don't think that is going to really happen, in all fairness. That is at 6 o'clock, by the way. Starting off the day, though, because I have... on ESPN, I have the Celtics as a favorite because they're my favorite team, and so they're at the top, so I got to address their game first, always. But yeah, Knicks and Hawks. I don't know why I keep looking back. That's going to be awesome. Let's see if the Knicks can retaliate and tie the series. This one is a popcorn-worthy series. It's a very, very entertaining one. So yeah. Same with the Suns and Lakers. Suns, can you guys retaliate? Can Chris Paul kind of get his shoulder back a little bit so he could start putting up like 15 and 10 and propelling them to wins? Can Devin Booker not play dirty and score less than 20 points in 41 minutes? I don't know. Can they rebound the ball? Can they stop LeBron and AD? Can they stop AD, first of all? Probably not. Clippers Mavericks play again, so that's cool. We'll see if the Clippers can win 2 in a row and tie the series. That'd be great. That'd make this series entertaining. Although I'm rooting for Luka, I think it'd be really cool to see the Clippers tie the series. And then usually what we do towards the end of the video is we kind of look at the status of each series that we talked about before. Talking about the Nets and Celtics. Celtics are most likely going to get beaten 5. Like, if I'm being an honest Celtics fan, we could win another game. I think next game, I think it'll go Nets win, so it'll be 3-1, then we win, and then Nets win. I think it'll be a back and forth for the rest of the series, because Tatum has kind of found his stroke in the playoffs. Hawks and Knicks, that's going to be a 7-game series, and I'm still holding on to my prediction of Trae Young hitting a clutch shot to win the whole series in Game 7. I still kind of feel like something like that's going to happen. Clippers Mavericks. This is an interesting one. Clippers could creep back and make this a 7-game series. I mean, after this one, and after kind of that pandemic peace stuff is slowly starting to fade away, you gotta think they got a chance here. And if they win tomorrow, oh, it's wraps. They might just win the series. And although I don't want them to again, yeah, those are. Wait a second. Okay, never mind. Bucks and Heat is obviously over. Congrats to the Bucks. You literally smacked the Heat around, and they're a solid team. Nuggets and Blazers is definitely a 7-game series. Gonna go to the wire. Maybe Damian Lillard hits another clutch shot to win the series. That'd be interesting if Trae Young and Dame both win in Game 7 for their teams. That'd be interesting. Sixers, Wizards. Let's be honest. Wizards are going to get swept. They'll probably get smacked around by 20 next game. I thought Wizards would have won 1 or 2 games, but no, they're getting swept at this point. Jazz and Grizzlies. This is an interesting one. With Donovan Mitchell back, I got the Jazz in 6. Big momentum guy in Donovan Mitchell. I think he's going to really help these guys. And on that note, your boy GZTV is going to close up this recap. It's been a great one. There was some really good basketball over the last few days. Some of the games weren't really close, but it was good basketball. Some of the series are a lot more interesting, with like the Clippers finally getting a dub, the Blazers tying the series, the Celtics somehow winning a game on the Nets, Donovan Mitchell coming back and going crazy. Knicks and Hawks possibly going to a 7-game series. So yeah, I've talked a little too much, and I hope you guys have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow night for some great recap content. Yeah, GZ.